everyone, and welcome back to Classic Comics. I'm here to review the latest episode of The Expanse, episode 7. Now, there will be spoilers in this video, so if you haven't seen this episode yet, you should do that first and then come back. This episode focuses heavily on the relationship between Naomi, Marco, and their son, FIlip. We start with FIlip, who is looking at some videos about Naomi's involvement with the opening of the ring. Then Marco arrives, and FIlip quickly shuts the video off, trying to hide it from Marco, which doesn't seem to actually work. Marco says that the ship Naomi gave to FIlip is not much good to them, and he has an idea of how to make better use of it, and asks FIlip's permission, which FIlip gives. Marco says that he knows FIlip has been spending time with Naomi, and was concerned that the ship might have some sentimental value to him since it was a gift from her, but FIlip insists that the ship isn't important to him. Next, Marco pays a visit to Naomi. He asks her why she picked now to come back into FIlip's life. They proceed to have a discussion about their shared past and about FIlip. Now, Naomi says that Marco is doing the same thing to FIlip that he did to her years ago, filling her head with dreams about revolution and using him to commit acts of terrorism that kill innocents indiscriminately, and that FIlip doesn't know what Marco is really like. Naomi also says that she knows the only reason Marco hasn't killed her yet is because doing so might alienate FIlip. He then tells her that she's free to move about the ship, but if she pulls anything else, he will have her spaced. We then go to the Rocinante, and Holden, Bull, and Monica have a discussion about what to do with the protomolecule. Holden insists that they destroy it, and Bull and Monica agree. Monica also tells them that she has sources on Ceres, and if she hears anything about the protomolecule, she'll let Holden know. Then they receive a message from Alex on board the Firehawk, telling Holden that they're on their way to Tycho, and have some information to share. Holden notices that the transmission came from somewhere fairly close by and sends a response. Back on Marco's ship, Naomi goes to FIlip's cabin, and they have a talk about the things FIlip has done for Marco. Naomi tells FIlip how manipulative his father can be, how when she and Marco were together, she became totally devoted to him and to his dreams, and how good he is at getting other people to buy into them as well. But Marco just uses people and is just using FIlip to pursue his dreams, just as he used Naomi when they were together. And then FIlip asks her the big question. Why? Why did you abandon me? And Naomi tells him that she tried to take him with her, but Marco found out and hid FIlip from her. She searched for months and finally gave up. She went to an airlock and was going to commit suicide, but couldn't go through with it. And she tells Marco that in the end, the only real choice anyone has is to walk away. Now, you really feel for FIlip here. This poor guy is in an impossible situation with this father who raised him and telling him that killing millions of people is the right thing to do. And then suddenly his mother shows up and is telling him, no, that's wrong, and run away with me so we can escape this. And Josiah Owens, the actor who plays FIlip, does a really good job of conveying FIlip's torment to the viewer. Then we go to the Firehawk, and Bobby has informed Avasarala about Marco's Martian ships. Then they share a series of messages with Holden about the events of the last few episodes, about Marco stealing the protomolecule, the Martian warships, and that Naomi is being held by Marco. Holden asks them to try to find Marco's fleet again, and Alex lets him know they'll try. Back on Marco's ship, Sin has done some work on Naomi's ship, the Chetzamoka. He goes to the galley, and Naomi is there, and they have a talk. Sin tells Naomi that he saw her walk into that airlock all those years ago, and that he's sorry for causing her so much pain. He says, I never thought it would come to that, or that it would get that bad for you. And Naomi says, well, you did everything you could, you shouldn't feel guilty. And then Sin admits that he helped Marco keep FIlip hidden from her. He knew where FIlip was all along, but didn't tell her. Back on the Rossi, Monica and Holden start connecting the dots regarding Marco's warships. They realize that Martian naval ships don't just get misplaced, which is kind of funny since they're on a stolen Martian warship, but legitimate salvage and all that. So someone high up in the Martian military is obviously backing Marco's revolution. But why? Marco doesn't have the money to purchase a warship, so someone on Mars either is supporting his political agenda, which seems hard to believe since Marco has made it pretty clear he has no love for Earth or Mars, or Marco is offering them something besides money. And what would that be? The protomolecule. Although you would think that Mars would want the protomolecule delivered to them before giving Marco half a dozen warships. What if the raid on Tycho hadn't worked? What would Mars do? Just ask for the ships back? I'm guessing Marco wouldn't have done that. Then they finally find the Zmaya, which is flying away at maximum speed, and they have to go to full speed themselves in order to intercept them. The Rossi contacts the Zmaya and tells them to stop, and the Zmaya launches about 20 missiles at them. The Rossi's guns take out the missiles, and then they close on the Zmaya, and Holden uses the Rossi's railgun to take out the Zmaya's engine. Holden then tells them to power down their reactor and prepare to be boarded, but the Zmaya blows up instead. And I'm guessing the protomolecule was already offloaded before the ship blew, but we don't really know that. On Marco's ship, Philip approaches Marco and says that he would like to take command of one of the ships in the fleet. When Marco asks why, Philip says he just wants to show everyone what he's capable of and who he really is. And man, we get a scene here where Marco shows just how ruthlessly manipulative he really can be. He says that everyone should know that Philip was the one who just helped destroy the Rocinante and successfully delivered the protomolecule to Marco's fleet. Instead, he's known as the person who screwed that all up because he's weak, and that's who he really is. He then brings up some footage of some of his supporters in the belt and tells Philip that these people in the belt are all chanting his name, not Philip's, and that Philip is nothing without him. He says that Philip is his heir and Philip will lead the belt one day after Marco is gone, and then they'll be chanting Philip's name. And then the crew starts chanting Philip, Philip, Philip. The camera sweeps around them, and you just see them all chanting and stomping their feet, and Philip is just soaking it all up. One of the subplots running through this episode is the whole struggle between Naomi and Marco for Philip's loyalty, and Marco finally wins it in this scene. Philip is completely beguiled by this display of adoration for him, with Marco telling him that this is all going to be real someday if you're strong and if you stand with me. Then Naomi is called to the bridge and Marco tells her that he's going to let her go. When Naomi asks if she can take the Chetzamoka, Marco tells her that they're going to use her ship to lure the Rocinante to them and then destroy it. But after Holden and the others have been killed, they'll drop her off somewhere. When Naomi objects, Marco tells her that it's Philip's idea, and then Naomi tries to appeal to Philip to stop this, and instead he strikes her across the face and rejects her. Then Marco accuses Naomi of trying to turn Philip against him, which is kind of true, and that she's nothing and that that's what she's going to be left with. Then they come to a stop, and the Chetzamoka, which has been docked with Marco's ship, is detached and set on autopilot. I'm guessing that Marco's people have rigged the ship to blow and will send it to the Rossi, guessing that Holden won't destroy the ship, thinking that Naomi is on board. Then Naomi goes to an airlock where she sees the Chetzamoka separating from Marco's ship. Now, on the bridge, Sin sees her in the airlock and he leaves the bridge to go after her. Sin arrives at the airlock and thinking that Naomi is going to commit suicide, he tries to talk her out of it, saying that he can fix things with Marco. Naomi tells him that he really shouldn't be there, and then we see that Naomi is holding a syringe of hyperoxygenated blood in her hand. Then Naomi opens the airlock and jumps out into space towards her ship. Now bear in mind, she's not wearing a suit, she's just in regular clothes. Sin tries to stop her, but he's too late, and then he asphyxiates in the vacuum. Philip arrives, but he can't enter the airlock to help Sin because Sin's magnetic boots are holding him in place, and his right arm is extended out of the airlock, which is preventing the airlock's outer doors from closing. Naomi floats over to the other ship and manages to get to the Chetzamoka and enter the airlock, and the episode ends there. So this was quite an ending, and a nice callback on the oxygenated blood syringe from that earlier episode when Holden used one to inject Monica when she had asphyxiated inside that cargo container. Now, ever since she saw Philip, Naomi has been trying to lure him away from this path that his father has set him on. And Philip in this episode finally makes his choice, but he chooses Marco. I was thinking that when Philip asks for command of a ship, is he doing that because he wants to turn against Marco? And is that what Marco is thinking when Philip is making the request? The comment Marco makes to Naomi about her trying to turn Philip against him makes me think that's the case. This episode is the culmination of a subplot that was established way back in the 6th episode of season 1, and the cast just does a great job with their characters in this episode. And what about the protomolecule? I can't believe it really blew up on the Zamea. It was clearly passed to someone, but who? Does Marco already have it, or was it given to some of his people? Or maybe it was already given to Mars, and if that's what the price of their warships was, then what is Mars planning to do with it? Are they going to use it to make super soldiers again, or do they have some other plan for it? Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you found this review informative, please hit the like button before you leave. Also, please sub to the channel and hit the bell for notifications, and I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching.